you know how this last session of last talks called in conferences is called the graveyard ditch. So welcome to the graveyard ditch. We will have a very intimate and a very cozy opportunity to speak about such bold questions like planetary responsibility, building skills and creativities for sustainable futures. So just as you heard, I came from Finland, and at the same time I tried to be local and try to reach out to many other institutes. So you can see some of my affiliations to, I was stopping a little bit to not to use the word global, because I think it's a very, very heavy word nowadays. It's have a lot of echoes, which I think we cannot anymore connect with creative education or to positive ideas. So we also started to use the word planetary instead of the word global to express also our relationship to the planet Earth and to our resources, and also remind ourselves to our responsibility as humans towards this planet. And when it comes to Finland, you can know about Finland that this is really a land of nature. There are many common in Finland and Germany, that Finnish people are also like to go to their cottage in the weekends, and I know that many philosophers, for example from Germany, like to meditate in their cottage while skiing. So skiing, I think it's another thing what connects us, but maybe not the downhill skiing, not the slalom type of skiing, but rather the cross-country skiing. So Finnish people are really this like a long distance people. We even have a word, it's sisu. It means to not giving up, to being perseverant. And this is really what you need maybe in an endless field of snow and ice and very harsh natural circumstances, what you can experience in Finland. So this kind of cooperation with the nature, cohabitation with the beings in nature, with other animals, plants, this really, I think, something what is a very general experience in Finland. So this is a country where we experience the innovation and also the high-tech digital technology very, very rapidly coming in. Also, if you know some games like Angry Birds, these are also coming from Finland. But at the same time, we are very fond of that more than 170,000 lakes and more than 50,000 islands what we have. And this is also, I think, help to keep us on the ground. I work in the Finnish Institute for Education Research, and you certainly heard some of these acronyms, at least PISA and TEAMS, I'm sure you heard. So it's our national responsibility to collect the data from these surveys what comes to Finland. I lead a research group there. It's called the Innovative Learning Environments, and maybe you can find out from my short intro that when I use the word environment, I really mean the natural environment as like the preliminary, the really original, the foundational context of learning. But obviously, when it comes to the physical environments, like what this room looks like, what kind of activities, what kind of actions this room implies, also a school building, what comes from a floor plan that's already the furniture. So all these are influencing the learning processes. But nowadays we have also the digital environment. The digital platforms are also surrounding us. The technology is really everywhere around us. So and of course there is also the social and emotional environment. We always learn in a kind of a community or for a community. So these are these aspects what we try to bring together with my colleagues. And we are definitely more interested in the journey, in the process of learning, and not only the outcome, not only the performance. This is really secondary for us in our research. I myself mostly focus on STEAM education, how to combine science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, and beyond. And as you can see, this is really a way of learning together. We really believe that together we are more. We believe that there is also collective creativities exist. So we are really the persons who say pluralize it, really to make it shared with everyone, the learning experience. And when we search for an answer for big questions like why do we learn, of course there are as many answers as many learners. And when we talk about higher education, it's not only about just the future generation, but we can see how the third age, the new midlife above 65, become very important also in this learning context. So I think a lot of interesting things are going on in our learning process. When I was in Futuromondo and attended a lot of sessions, I heard, I think in every talks, every workshops about AI, technology, very massive influence of this. And I thought that I will use this graveyard ditch session to a little bit stop for a while. And if you share my enthusiasm about all-time most philosophical science fiction story, Stalker. Stalker being a novel, it was called Roadside Picnic, or a short story, Roadside Picnic. So maybe we can have this graveyard ditch picnic for a while. And I would like to show you a few pictures, and I would like to ask you that, do you know what exactly on the picture? So this is first picture, second, and third. So, anyone? Excuse me? Power stations, yes? Okay. So, first image is about working. So Microsoft made a deal to restart some power plants, some nuclear stations, to resource Copilot and all those wonderful things what been discussed in many other sessions. We also know that this energy, this incredible energy, what this restarted power station will provide won't be enough. It's just enough for the few first seconds. And UK already made a deal that there will be also these modular power stations coming to also to source the European needs only for Microsoft, single company. Okay, second is about shopping. So if you want to be very comfortable in Amazon and you want to have your AI advisor and the best deals ever, you definitely will rely on the energy which will be powered by this monster there. And just to see the number, this 1.9 gigawatts, which will be produced just in the first phase, just to also to force the support, the data center which is there. I can give you a very good comparison that what does it mean, this 1.9 gigawatt, which is just enough for this first few starting moments. So many of you probably saw the movie of the Back to the Future. So this 1.9 gigawatts is enough to support this time machine, 1.5 time. And also this is Iceland's power consumption in 2019, so in a whole year. So this is really a big number. And what's happening now, Google is really also want to keep up with the developments, and they made a deal with this modular technology of nuclear plants. And it's never been used yet outside of China, so let's see what's going on. So my message is not to speak against nuclear power, not at all, but just to consider this situation, what comes with the affordances of these technologies. And certainly the solution is not to try to step in front of the bullet train, but rather to come up with those technologies that will sort of regulate these affordances and make these affordances smaller and more efficient. But since it's happening, maybe it's also good to think ethically about the energy use, because this kind of digital highway is rather looks to me like a very dubious swamp, which I'm not so happy to enter at the same time, while I'm using also this technology, very massively using this technology myself as a researcher, but I always try to keep this in mind. And what I try to keep this in mind is like also that when we talk about the fifth industrial revolution, right? There were other talks where this was mentioned. Never forget that all these industrial revolutions, all these revolutions include all the previous revolutions as well. When you talk about the cloud service, then you never forget those wires which are going around the whole globe to power these clouds, which are invisible, of course, and it seems that we are uploading everything into this immaterial world, but at the same time there are these wires all around the world to support this kind of technology. So when the blockchain came in, one of the first steps in China was to map those water plants which were out of service, and they restarted them, and then they moved around the blockchain infrastructure, the data mining infrastructure, just to power the process. And this is now happening also in this larger scale with these nuclear plants which are restarted because of the AI revolution. And now we also know that just to saying thanks for ChatGPT, it's also producing millions of costs for the company. And you can also see the first studies which show that how the comparison with a simple Google search and an AI-assisted search means in this scale. We can also see that, for example, Finland, which is really a forerunner of sustainable practices, how many data centers we are opening now, which are all require this huge energy impact. And not to mention that we have data centers from Yandex, we have data centers from TikTok. So all what is banned on my phone, for example, in my university phone, TikTok is turned off. I cannot use TikTok. If I want to use TikTok, I need to use a separate phone where I only run TikTok because of the data concerns. But this data, which is very dubious data, which is very risky data, is stored in those data centers in my country at the same time. So I want to a little bit remind myself of this when I'm very enthusiastic at the same time about these technologies. So and when it comes to PISA, you know that it gives us kind of a snapshot about sort of educational excellence, but when you use the same map to find out about carbon dioxide output. You can see that PISA excellence and carbon dioxide output is quite in a proportion. So you also know about the Earth Overshoot Day. This is a very interesting idea. This is about that what if the whole world would use that much of energy as one person used in one certain country. So how many months, how many days it would take to run out of all produced energy in the whole world. So you can see that where is my home country and some of the Nordic countries, how fastly we would run out of energy if everybody on Earth would live like a Finnish or a Norwegian or an Icelandic person. Very surprisingly, there was an Uruguay guest here. If we would all live like a Uruguay person, we must talk this person here, we could keep it up not so bad as I can see here. However, if you again take a look of the PISA results and you compare the Earth overshoot dates, you can again find out that PISA excellence and Earth overshoot is quite much going hand in hand. So there is something not working out, I think, here in this excellent educational cultures where we all want to get in. And when we also hear the word this green growth, which is a really beautiful idea, but when you think about it, maybe it's just an excuse to continue this speed of growing. So, well, this is a question that if we need it or not, but of course this is my dilemma. I don't have answer to this question, but I try to keep myself reminded about this as a teacher especially. So, okay, but as I thought, I'm not the person who will jump in front of the bullet train and would try to stop it, but I'm also a beneficiary of this very exhaustive and exploitive technology here. And I'm also one of the person who really talk about that and want to do that, how we can develop Gen AI literacy, how we can develop Gen AI competences with keeping in mind all these affordances. Because when we take a look at how these technologies are developing, we can really recognize that this is really something unavoidable to take into account. And also when we think about educational policy, this is a really decisive question that how schools, how universities can also use this technology for taking a leap there. So this is another question to consider, I think, also in Futuro Mondo and by all of us. I like to talk nowadays about augmented intelligence, augmented competences, augmented creativity. So how these technologies can help me to go beyond my limits in a meaningful manner. It's another question that do I really need to go beyond my limits? I feel that I'm a very limited person, that I want to do it. But these augmented capabilities, I think that's something what needs to be considered also, especially when we pay this very high cost for this kind of leapfrog effect what we experience. So what can help me to think about this dilemma is exactly when I start to think about not only this augmentability and augmented concepts, but I think about agency, which is a much older pedagogical concept, and I try to keep myself away from this sirens song, which is really coming with the bold promises, but rather think about the agency and my agency in this very situational, very negotiated and very contextual manner about what's happening now. So this leads me also to think about planetary well-being, so not only human well-being, but well-being which is beyond the human aspects, and I get some hope from the eco-science, ecology, which really have its own scientific approach for the ecosystem level well-being concepts. I can also see these kind of European strategies which help to establish the sustainability mindset. Together with my colleagues, we are also thinking about this holistic approach of well-being in schools, and you can see creativity is taking a significant role there, but we want to promote the planetary aspect as well in our Joyful School project. We also know some effective pedagogical approaches, so we all believe more that how it will be more not only competence development, but rather action development, action competencies. So when you take a look of an everyday school meal together with your students, I think even as a teacher it will be very inspiring to map together with the students that how that single usual food comes to your plate, and how many sustainability related decisions, critical decisions are made to make this happen. We also have a course, every students and everybody in Finland and everybody in the world can free access to this MOOC, so I really recommend to you to get to know more about it. And we try also to start this dialogue in a really planetary way. So some months ago I had the opportunity to work with future policymakers in China, in Hong Kong, with Chinese policymakers, students who will be educational policymakers. We used the same method what have been used here in this conference, this rapid brainstorming method. And many of the students came up with very interesting ideas how they would change their campus practices to become more sustainable. So there are many more examples also how we extend this towards Africa, which is on the other hand is a very low resource context, but we combine their mathematics and arts, and you can see that these children artworks, youth artworks are representing very deep thoughts which are not necessarily topics on a traditional math class, but rather in this more expanded context. So also teachers are taking action, and we have a lot of active practices shared in connection to prepare for this change, and you can also read about this in Leonard Sommer's book. And maybe I close the talk with an invitation. So tomorrow afternoon, 2 times, from 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock, we will build together, maybe I hope with you, a tower which I brought from Africa. So this tower is called Varka Tower, and this is a frame to hold a mesh, like a net, which can be used to to harvest the fog, harvest the humidity from the air. And this can solve a lot of water scarcity problems, for example, in Ethiopia. And of course, we can't harvest water in these circumstances here in Stuttgart, but at least we will try to harvest some collective creativity, some collective inspiration, some collective experience by building a huge tower, not only like this, not only this tabletop version, but we try to go up to several meters. It will depend on your contribution, it will depend on your enthusiasm, how high we can emerge this. And you can also see the context of this innovation. So Arturo Vittori, an Italian architect, came up with this piece. It was also introduced in the Venice Biennale as a science and art and architecture piece. But as you can see, it's also one of those topics which we explore with teachers in addition to their topics, which they bring to our sessions to get some kind of a planetary insight about these challenges. So while these last images are on the picture, I would like to ask if you have any comments or questions to what I taught. Yes. Oh, in the graveyard ditch. Yes, I am. Yes, yeah, I am. Okay. Okay. I want to return to this optimism. Actually, I'm not optimistic because optimism is a tricky thing. I'm not optimistic. I rather believe in the impossible because I think humanity had a lot of possibilities and have always a lot of possibilities. But to change something is really to kick ourselves into the impossible. And we have the capacity. Creativity is really something that make impossible possible. And I think this is what we need. So I'm not optimistic at all, but I believe in the human ability to get this leap into the impossible. And about Finland, yes, you are absolutely right. I think none of these educational systems or approaches can be brought from one place to another. It's like you have a very special plant which is only grow in a certain soil, in a certain place, in a certain circumstance, in a certain planet, in a certain universe. You cannot replant it to anywhere else, but you can try to learn from the gardeners, and you try to bring together this wonderful gardeners of all of these universes and try to grow your own. I think this is what I believe in. Grow your own and get to the impossible. So yeah. And pluralize it. Yes, this is my third message. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. 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 Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah. 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 We have actually hundreds of German teachers, early childhood educators, teachers of all levels visit us. And I think we can think about how to expand this Heidelberg connection as well. So, but I really but I try to do for the moment when also the Finnish teachers are also have the opportunity to visit other places, and also all teachers of the world somehow get connected, and we can align and we can line up for this kind of ideas to be able to grow our own. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Mm. Yes, yes. We have also several companies in our context. Yeah. Yeah, shortly, yes. I would have a lot more to talk about this, but I think I'm seriously went beyond the time.
Speaker on stage. So if we want to open up the conversation.